It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading.
Good morning, 26th of March 2019 is a minute past 8 CET time. Piotr here, and this is a morning market preview pre-London Open at Global Light Forex YouTube channel. Let's start with risk warning. Please bear in mind trading effects on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all your initial investments, so please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Alright, that was a pretty busy end of the last week. A little bit quiet on the front yesterday. Let's have a look at what we may expect. Let's try to create the plan for the London Open. Just the reminder, later today at 2 p.m. CET, we are going to have the educational live trading room at 2 p.m. CET. So you are more than welcome to join us as well during the afternoon activity. The purpose of this morning meeting, is to check the majors ahead of the London Open, trying to be prepared for what we may see. All right, nothing special for today. If we are talking about the agenda, we have few FOMC members. We have MPC member speech, and then the activity should pick up a bit again right after the New York Open at 1:30 CET time. 1:30 CET time, we have a building permits and housing starts out of US, and at 3 p.m. CET time, we do have consumer confidence from US. So nothing extraordinary, at least for now, based on the calendar agenda. What we do have from the option market perspective, 113, we have 650 million at 113. 114, we've got almost 600 right now. So we've got the 100 pip range. We are testing the bottom of that particular range. Much more interesting is on the dollar yen side, trying to defend 110 with almost 1.8 billion, then higher end of the range 1130, we've got 1.6 billion. That's the most important levels from the option market perspective, at least for now. Okay, so what is going on as Asia is ending the day? Looks like the Brexit indicative voting set for Wednesday. Prime Minister May indicated that she may to think about the resignation to get her Brexit deal through. That's based on the Sun. Also, based on the Bloomberg, there was a Rosengren speech, Fed member Rosengren speech, Nothing extraordinary besides the one thing. He's so negative about the Q1 GDP, expecting very weak number. And here in Europe, Euro area set to withhold cash for Greece over the insolvency law, again based on Bloomberg. On the stock side, again based on the Bloomberg. Let me put a few more information for you here. And let me give you the link. Looks like because of the failures at the top, around 3,100 foreigners are dumping Chinese stock on record. And one more thing, based on what we get during the Tokyo, there's a Samsung Electronic warns about Q1 results, and it might be lower than market expects. So yeah, we do have some signs of the global slowdown. Well, yeah, we will see. So let's try to check finally the charts, right? Let's start with dollar index. So we are going to get the full picture here. Let's have a look what we have. Okay. So if we are going to take into the consideration what happened, all right, last time. So that move to the upside, looking for some stops, was ECB related, right? Then we took out the bottom of this pre-ECB day, ECB day, I'm sorry, and ahead of the FOMC we saw something totally opposite, right? We found support, and we discussed it few times last week about it. We found the final support a little bit lower. We were trying to hold this 96.40, then we broke through 96 to hit some stops below that zone, and we found support based on the range from the very late January 2019. We are talking about the 30th rally back. And what happened, and where we are right now, we are testing the mid of that range of the last few days. And what is important compared to what we are going to discuss on euro dollar in a second, within the next few seconds, the important thing is that we retest last Friday the bottom of that ECB day. We failed yesterday, and today it might be very interesting. So in that case, I would like to see as a bull, for example, as a bull, right? I would like to see move and close above 96.80. All right, so let me show you what I'm talking about. I would like to move and close below last Friday high, right? Up above last Friday high, I'm sorry. As a bull, dollar bull, would like to see the close above 96.80. That's also the high from the 14th of March over here, right? So we need to take out these levels, 96.80, 97. That's what we've seen checking the left side of this chart. So that's the 96.80, 97 imported from the bull's perspective. From the bear's perspective, taking into the consideration that we were able to reject this 96.80, right? Some additional profit taking yesterday. Now probably the key point is gonna to be trying to get back below 96.40, close the day below 96.40, close the day below yesterday low, and trying to continue lower again towards 96. That might be the key here, right? So overall, I would be very, very careful, and I would watch the range between 96.80, 97, and from the bottom side at 96. It's a quiet, 100 pips from day trading perspective. Looks good. Looks good. So that's how I see the things on the dollar index, right? It looks a little bit different on the euro dollar and on the dollar yen, because the euro dollar is the toughest, the heaviest pair, and then the next one is the dollar yen, which is testing 110, right? So on the dollar index, 96.80, 97 to the upside for today, 96 to the downside. And I'm sorry, 96.40 and then 96. Okay, 96.4 yesterday low, and then 96. So quite nice range from the intraday perspective. Because there is not much on the agendas, we've checked the calendar, I think that this range may prevail. So what I'm gonna to look from the day trading perspective, I'm gonna to watch carefully, attempt to break the range, and I'm gonna to look for the failures, right, at these levels, to trying to join the opposite side, meaning that if I'm going to see attempt to move higher with rejection around or above Friday high or 14th of March high, right, on the smaller time frame, most probably I may try to join the short side from the intraday perspective. And same here, if I'm going to see the attempt to move lower below yesterday low and then down towards 96, right, and any kind of the rejection over here, I may try to join the bull side, and we may stay within that range over the course of the day. That's how I see the things on the dollar index. Let me make some cleanings on the chart. Just a second. Okay, I will clean the range numbers later on. Let's get back to the trading platform. Okay, so let's start with euro dollar. I would say the bears here are in a bit better shape after we manage to get back and close below ECB day high and open right here from the 7th of March, right, the green zone. We are trying to recover yesterday, right, we are trying to recover yesterday, but we found the sellers lying up on this FOMC day. So once we took out the low, close below, so that's where the that's what the bears were trying to defend, right? So we as I mentioned, bears in a bit better shape. So from euro dollar perspective, trying to trying to compare to what we discussed on dollar index. All right. Here in the particular pair, I would like to see attempt to rally higher towards 1340 ish. Okay, trying to break above yesterday high, and I'm going to look to fade. All right, I'm to fade this rally. I'm gonna to watch yesterday high, which is 1331, 32. I'm going to watch if FOMC low 1335, and I'm going to watch the after FOMC low 1343. So there is some kind of the range in between, let's say 3545. That's where the main focus from the bear side, right? To the opposite, what I'm gonna to look to the downside, if I'm gonna be able to join this short side, right? I'm going to target the Friday's low and stops below, and we are discussing today. We are discussing here 1257. All right, that's the high from the 11th of March, and we are discussing here the high 1246 from the 8th of March, right? So that's possible demand on euro dollar if we are gonna to try to break lower. There you go. So let's have a look what we have from an intraday perspective. Of course, we are approaching end of the quarter, and at some point, maybe even during our afternoon meeting, we are gonna to focus on a higher time frame. We will try to make the full analysis for next quarter, right? From the so we are talking about longer or medium term. Of course, if we are gonna to see some kind of the activity, of course we are gonna to focus on a day trading, but I truly believe we are going to have a time either today or during our next meeting to try to summarize the first quarter and try to prepare ourselves for the second quarter, what we may expect on euro dollar from intraday perspective. All right, strong Friday sell-off, right? There was an attempt to break lower, cleaning of the books, end of the week, some profit taking. We are trying to hold these levels over the course of Monday, all right? But I would say something is missing here. So my approach, as I mentioned, if I'm gonna to see some kind of the failures around yesterday high, maybe towards this 1345, that's the pre-breakout late Thursday low, all right? So everything here is quite clear. Unfortunately, we cannot rule it out that the market from the intraday perspective with some kind of the spikes will try to retest the Friday sell-off top here, right? Especially it's related to monthly open, right? That's what we discussed last week as well. So don't forget about it. So there is a chance we are going to see a little bit higher levels. Might be better from the entry perspective. Anyway, what I see here, first, it might be some kind of the flag. We've seen attempt to break lower during the Tokyo session. If bulls are gonna be able to manage get back above, so then if we had a stops to the downside, then I would look for some stops to the upside, and then trying to fade the rally, right? Otherwise I may not have such a possibility. Anyway, what I'm looking for is attempt to break higher through yesterday high, retest pre FOMC low. We are talking about 1345, 13, and the FOMC, this particular one is around 1360, and the failure around here, right? But how I'm gonna to join for now, of course, it's gonna be dynamic most probably. So it may happen that once we are gonna to try to break higher, it's gonna be all about the price action at higher levels, right? But for now, depends how we are gonna to, if and how we are gonna to fade. At this particular moment, what I can tell you, I'm gonna to wait on a move back below yesterday high, right? That might be the safest, with the probably the distance between the entry and stop is gonna be a little bit higher, but that's the most conservative, right? For now, I might be a little bit more aggressive, but depends what and where I'm gonna to, where at which zone and which kind of the price action I'm going to see, and based on that, I might be a little bit more aggressive on an attempt to break to the higher. To the downside, that's what we already discussed. Attempt to break Friday low and this green zone, especially that we've seen the breakout on the 8 count break up to break out to the upside on the through this 8th of March high, right? So the bottom of this green zone, just a reminder, green zone is a demand based on the daily. We are going to get through this again during the afternoon meeting. Okay. So what I would like to see here is some kind of the move lower, right? Okay. We can try to check. Yeah, we went a little bit higher, so looks like we broke that. Anyway, so that's how I see the things on euro dollar, and I don't want to be biased, right? I don't want someone is gonna be biased based on my analysis. So yeah, I'm far away from this, but I do think that, yeah, because of where we are from the daily perspective, right, because of this ECB day, and we got back inside this range of this ECB day, we do have a chance to see a little bit lower levels. So yeah, at least we should see attempt to try to break Friday low. Would be nice to have a possibility to join if they fade one of those levels we discussed previously to the upside, right? But if you are at some point, just to be perfectly clear, at some point, if I'm gonna to see opposite candle to what we've seen on Friday, of course I'm not gonna to chase the market on the short side, at least for an hour or two, to check what is going on. That's, you know, what I would like to see is a slowly attempt to go higher, something similar to what we've seen yesterday, right? So that's the key point here. So one more time, trying to summarize euro dollar levels, we are talking about 1335, 1345, the first one, and then attempt to retest eventually levels around the monthly open 1370. Okay, that's how I see things from the euro dollar perspective. Dollar yen, end of the fiscal year approaching, yen demand breakdown towards 110, and we were talking about this 110 psychological level. I'm not gonna be surprised if we are gonna to hear something from members of the Bank of Japan, some kind of the verbal intervention. That's yeah, that's what we may see. But basically, and we were discussing, looks like the price is following what we discussed, broke through the channel, retest to the high. Actually, within the very first 2 days of this retest over here, those two candles, right? I drew from the higher time frame, I drew this possible supply. Unfortunately, we were not able to retest. We were close, but not able to retest these highs. Nice break through the 19th of March low, some kind of the retest, continuation 110 done here. But it's the history. What we have to discuss right now, what next, right? The thing is that if we are gonna to have a look to the left side from this daily chart, of course, today over this week we are gonna, the same as euro dollar, we are gonna to check higher time frames, gonna check the quarterly basis, we're gonna check end of the first quarter and what might be the case for the second quarter. As I mentioned, maybe we are going to have a time to go through this during our afternoon meetings. During our afternoon meeting, and we started 2 p.m. CET, just a reminder. So basically, 110 key psychological level. That's no doubt about it, right? Bears. What bears may try to look for? Again, we got back and we closed below the range from 26th of December, right? So here we go. This one here, right? And yesterday and today we're trying to get back above, right? We're trying to other words, bulls trying to take over, right? But if we are gonna to see the failure around these levels, and we are gonna be able to get back below 110, 109.70, the low, yesterday low, it's gonna be nightmare for the bulls here, I think, because it's gonna to show that there is no bullish activity around these levels, right? And especially that we are testing from the higher levels, we are falling towards the psychological level, so we should expect some kind of the bullish activity, showing strong hands around this psychological level. To be honest with you, I haven't seen it yet, especially Friday, end of the week. With all this manipulation, if the market was short, trying to take the profit into the end of the week, I think like this happened. So, bears, where you are? What I'm gonna to look for? Price action above yesterday high and around the low from 21st of March, Thursday low, right? Compared to what we've seen to the left side, the last rally here, right? So, just again to be perfectly clear, here and here. So we are talking about 110.35, 110.45 zone, right? So now we've got our answer why euro dollar from the bears perspective looks much better than dollar index from bulls perspective, right? Because of the dollar yen. So what I'm gonna do here, if we are gonna to see again same as euro dollar, attempt to rally, close below, I may try to join the bear side to see the retest of 110, 109.70. All right. From the bullish perspective, is still we may see some kind of the activity based on this breakout to the upside, right? So we are sitting around this possible demand. We are sitting at demand because of the psychological level, because of what we seen to the left side, but the price action to the left side, it was based on the psychological level, and that's the circle. Anyway, if we are gonna be able to go through yesterday low, Friday low, and close below this level, then we are gonna to open the range, pre-crash range. All right, in that case, if we are gonna to go through and close below 109.70, then the bottom of that range without the lower shadow for now, bottom of that range around 107.60, that might be the final target, and especially that is around 2.5 figure. So if we are gonna to take into the consideration the distance, the high after we got back above 1010, right, and we are gonna to giving up, we've got our possible target, all right, below 1010. Very close to the bottom of this range, as you may see. All right, the stops below the low of the 10th of January. So that's the thing. From the intraday perspective, in that case, we haven't seen the retest here. Anyway, what I'm gonna to look for from the intraday perspective, attempt to move higher above yesterday high, point number 1, right? And then something around 110.45. We discussed at 35.45. With this double bottom inside this possible supply based on the daily, right? But let's have a look. Let's check closer the last 3 day, late Friday, whole Monday, and today's Asia. So we created the range. I'm gonna to take that range based on, without the shadows, based on the entry and the close of the candle, right? So that's the size of the range. I'm gonna to double it like this, right? So if that's going to happen, if they are going to double the range, we may see 1070. So be very, very careful. And we are talking about, from the intraday perspective, we are talking about this broken low, right? Friday, and eventually close the gap around here. So from the bear's perspective, it might be the failure around 35.45. If not, we may double the range and we may see the rally towards 75. Okay, from the bear's perspective, let's work for a second with this range. If we are gonna to do the same to the downside, then 109.35, 109.30 as a possible target. So if I'm gonna to see the failure at the top of that range, first target is a stops to the opposite side, and then doubling that range, right? Do we have something interesting around 109.30? Let's have a look. if we can find some kind of the possible demand around the 930. That's the 890, so something a little bit higher is over here, and that should be 930. 109, no, nothing critical around 30. What about this last Niagara Falls? That's the bottom of this Niagara Falls. That's the latest supply we've seen here with this crash. But there was plenty of different prices. I'm not sure if it's still valid, to be honest with you. Anyway, that's how the the range to the downside is gonna to look like, right? From this perspective. If you are sorry, if you are a bull and you think we are gonna to hold that range, then you don't want to see any kind of the bullish activity right now. What you want to see is attempt to break lower and strong rejection, right? So let's say we want to see the attempt to move below yesterday low, Friday low, and with strong rejection, right? So if we are going to see the stops to the downside first instead of stops to the upside, yeah, we may then look and trying to hold that range. So we may try to trade this from around 109.70 from the bulls perspective, but again, I'm not gonna wait with the limit order to buy here. I'm going to switch to the 5-minute chart or even 1 minute, and gonna try to look and check the activity around these levels on a smaller time frames, right? That's how I see the things. That's how I'm gonna to, from this day trading perspective, what I'm gonna to look for on the dollar yen. The last one is a pound USD, and because of this still huge uncertainties Brexit related, we saw sell-off on Thursday, we saw covering Friday, and pretty much that's the range, 33 to the upside, 30 to the downside. About this 30 we were discussing, so if anyone was testing the short side based on what we've said, and again my scenarios, you should test only on a demo account. So everything was done on Thursday, and taking into consideration that this range is quite wide, right? And we are here right now. Okay. So this right now is a fight, right? And to be honest with you, as I can't move the market, right? So I don't want to participate in that fight because it's 50-50 in that very. Of course, if we are gonna to take into the consideration the situation, and so bears should be stronger, that's, you know, not necessarily has to happen. So I don't want to participate in that fight. I want to see the move either above or below yesterday high. Actually, we were trying we went through this pre-sell of high. We may see attempt to move a little bit higher towards 32.65, and if I'm gonna to see some kind of the failures over there, so I will try to join. And what I want to see for sure from the bears perspective, to close below, at least close below the yesterday high, if we are going to see the spike, right? So we want to have another upper shadow. To the downside, same story. So we have some kind of the range based on what happened yesterday, and yesterday low, that's the 20th of March low, right? That's the sell-off over here. So we are within in the middle of the range, and trying to fight with the market over here. That's the danger game with pound, right? So overall, I'm gonna to watch the yesterday low and high to see what they wanna to achieve. In that case, I may also take into the consideration late Friday consolidation, whole day yesterday consolidation. So in that case, I may create the same range. I may check where we are after the eventual breakout, and that's how I'm gonna to look or what I'm gonna to look for on this cable chart here. Again, a reminder, we do have longer meeting today, start at 2 p.m. CET. You are more than welcome to join. Depends on the market activity. We will try to check higher time frames on euro dollar, on dollar year. We will try to discuss the quarter, first quarter, the second quarter. So yeah, hopefully you are going to have enough time to join me, and you are more than welcome to join me. For now, that's it. Have a great morning, guys. If you are in Europe, have a great day, whatever you are, and we are gonna to meet within the next few hours. Take care. Goodbye.